This is a Sports Sunday special edition with Craig Roberts.
Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Roberts. Welcome to a special Thursday night edition of Sports Sunday. And tonight it's all football. The Oilers begin what could be their best season ever. Of course, every other team in the league thinks the same way. We begin with the end of last season, and we'll end tonight with a new beginning, the Oilers and Bills in the first preseason game. This is the last thing that sticks in the minds of many Oiler fans.
Deep in your own territory, and a ball. Is that a fumble or is it a pass?
I think it's a lateral.
It is Denver's ball.
That play was called Stagger Lee. It began an avalanche of opportunities for the Broncos. At the end, the Oilers were buried by a team that went to but did not win the Super Bowl. Before that play, Oiler fans did enjoy an exciting win over Seattle in the wild card game. And before that, 9 regular season wins, albeit weird ones at times. The replacement team won a rout in Denver. Many believe the replacement players did more than their share to put Houston back in the limelight, and that in general, those 10 overall wins were deceiving. Well, the team's owner, of course, was a major news story unto himself. After a running battle with the Houston Sports Association, Bud Adams did not move his team to Jacksonville. Most of us are convinced he never would have done that. Instead, he got new skyboxes, a new lease agreement, a cut of the action from parking and concessions, a new carpet for the Astrodome, and he became very popular. Reporters chased him everywhere. Well, when he met with us this summer in San Marcos, he was obviously enjoying the football success and decided he would enjoy it more at one of those Super Bowl parties.
I think if we don't get there this year, we'll get there next year, the following year. But I think that, we've got the talent put here on the squad now. It's a matter of the coaches putting it all together with these guys, and I think that's going to come about.
Bud stands soundly behind his coaching staff and his general manager, Ladd Herzig. Ladd once told us here at Channel 2 he gave himself good grades in every area except wins. Now apparently his grade has improved. A step back at this point would be a disaster, but of course it remains to be seen whether the Oilers can honestly contend for the division title, let alone a Super Bowl.
I think there's a good chance that we can beat Cleveland out for the Central Division Championship, and that's our biggest obstacle at this time. They have a great football team, and it's going to be a tough one to win. But if we can get past Cleveland, I think we have a good opportunity to make the Super Bowl this year.
Well, Bart Ennis is with us now, and he steps up to tell us what's good and maybe not so good about the Oilers in '88. As a lifelong Oiler follower, he's known more bad than good, so I guess he's hoping for good.
Unlike the past 7 seasons, the Oilers appear to have more strengths than weaknesses. This team may have more talent than any Oiler club in history. Most importantly, they have continuity. No new head coach, no new systems to learn. When you look at the starting 22, there are no real weaknesses. The Oilers have one of the best offensive lines around. This group has finally matured, and at the end of last season, they were really clicking as a unit. 4-year starter Jamie Williams returns at tight end, and the Oilers have the most explosive 1-2 receiving tandem in the league in Drew Hill and Ernest Givens. Houston has an excellent stable of running backs featuring Mike Rozier and Alonzo Highsmith. And at quarterback, Warren Moon's experience and ability to throw on the run make him very dangerous in the run-and-shoot offense. Yes, the run-and-shoot is back. That's part of the continuity I was talking about. In contrast to past seasons, the Oiler offense isn't starting from square one. They're expanding on the things that got them into the playoffs in '87.
We've added a whole lot more to our offense that makes us more exciting, and we've got a lot of different weapons, people that can make big plays. And just for those reasons, you'd want to come to the Dome and watch the excitement. I'm not going to talk about wins or losses. That's something we have to do on the field, but I think there will be some big plays.
Same story on defense. The starting 11 are solid. The defensive line is the deepest part of the squad. The acquisition of pass rusher deluxe Sean Jones was a huge plus for this team. Now they won't be so dependent on the blitz to get to the quarterback. And the X-Raider gave us the best preseason assessment of how far this team has come.
I was on the Raiders last year. We didn't make the playoffs. They made the playoffs last year, so I'm really glad that they accepted me into this group, and I just want to be an integral part of it.
Where the Oilers need to improve the most is on special teams. Houston allowed more total yards on punt returns than any team in the conference last year. Hopefully that's where some high-spirited rookies will come in handy. Incumbent Jeff Gossett will battle third-round draft choice Greg Montgomery for the punting job. Tony Zendejas is one of the steadiest in the league when it comes to three-pointers. But again, poor kickoff coverage helped many Oiler opponents start scoring drives last season. That has to change. The only other weakness on this team is depth at certain positions. If Moon goes down, the Oilers do not have an experienced backup to go to. After Hill and Givens, the receiving core is a little shaky. Same at tight end. Jamie Williams doesn't have a quality backup. Defensively, the reserve linebacking core suffers from inexperience. But where this problem is most prevalent is at both safety spots. If either Keith Bostic or Jeff Donaldson go down with a serious injury, the Oilers could be in big trouble. Those are our assessments of the strengths and weaknesses of this team. What do the players think?
My first 4 years when I was in camp, it was almost like a panicked attitude. I think there was an air about the team that was kind of false. That, yeah, we were going to be competitive, but we didn't necessarily believe it. What I've noticed today is there is an air of confidence about this team that maybe we don't have to be yelling as much, and maybe there isn't all that false chatter that we had in the past, because we did it last year. We won some big games, and we should do it again this year if things go right.
Last year, we all knew it was a good offense, but we didn't know how it was going to work in games. We were really experimenting with a lot of things. Now, I think, for us, we realize how explosive we can be, how we can control the ball if we want to, and how we can come back the way we did last year. And for us is to pick up on that, but that's probably our biggest positive as an offensive team.
I think with the acquisition of the new punter and the defense being smarter, I think we'll cut down on penalties. I think we'll make more turnovers, cause more turnovers, and give our offense more chances to score so that they don't have to come back in the fourth quarter.
Overall, this team is stronger than last year's inside the headgear. They know they can win now. They've tasted it. They believe in each other. That frame of mind alone is worth a couple of wins a year. Barring injuries at key positions, this could be a fun season.
Okay, imagine now that you've just been a big star in college football, or maybe even a little star, and suddenly you find yourself in a remote Texas town banging heads with a 7-year pro. You have to get a weird haircut, the old-timers know you want their jobs, and the free agents think you're pampered. You're a rookie. Lorenzo White was the Oilers' top draft pick, a first-rounder. After a brief holdout, he showed up in camp just 4 days late.
The first day of camp, I wanted to be here. I didn't want to be late, but, we were still going over the contract, and we agreed to terms, and I just flew on down here the same day.
The coaches certainly seem to like the progress of cornerback Chris Dishman. Number 28 is out of Purdue. He has good speed and is used to playing the man-to-man style of the Oilers. Dishman was a 5th-round pick.
I was very happy to be drafted by them because I seen that they play the type of defense we played at Purdue, that bump and run and man, so I figured I can come right here and fit in right well.
Here's a look at a couple of other fellas who might stick. David Bayan, number 72, a giant of a man from the University of Minnesota at Duluth. This guy played both ways in college. Not many can say that anymore. The Oilers will use him at offensive tackle or perhaps at center. He is 6'5", 291. And they say Chris Verhulst might be the best of those taken in 1988. Number 49 is a tight end from Chico State who goes 6'2", 239. When we come back, we'll meet the Oilers coaching staff. Stay with us.
You know what I like about pumping up? You know what I like about maxing it out? You know what I like about the feel of weights in my hands? It's their effect on my body.
Feel the effects with 50% off or 2 for 1 at President and First Lady.
Before you primp, you gotta pump.
From Touchstone Pictures, Dateline North Korea. The hostages.
A rescue attempt is simply not justifiable.
We can't just let them die in there.
The heroes.
Maybe they've ripped my father off, but I haven't.
The mission.
You mean we go get them? Yeah.
Where are you heading?
North Korea.
The adventure.
We go all the way. The plan, the commitment, all of it. Hang on!
Are we gonna make it?
The rescue.
I love it.
Starts tomorrow at a theater near you.
If you were thinking about steak tonight, Steak and Ale would like to give you something to think about. Something irresistible. Something out of the ordinary. Something traditional. Something we've been doing for over 20 years. Tonight, if you're thinking about steak, why would you think about any place but Steak and Ale? For over 20 years, the legend in steak.
The Oilers have had 13 head coaches in their history. Some have lasted longer than others. Bum Phillips certainly tops the popularity poll. While the Jerry Glanville era has been relatively short, nonetheless, it's been spirited. Jerry Glanville dresses in black on the sideline. He likes to drive fast cars and loves the tough guy image. He's a firm believer in the big play. His critics just smiled when that Stagger Lee business came down. Yeah, old Jer played right into their hands. Realistically, though, Houston couldn't have beaten the Broncos that day no matter what Mike Rozier might have done with the ball. Players tell me, though, that play hasn't been mentioned since. But rest assured, Jerry Glanville still has it in the playbook.
No, nothing really haunts me like that. You know, that was our choice to do that. If I knew the results and how they were going to end up, I'm not that bullheaded. We'd never run that play. But knowing what we knew about Denver and knew about us, and looking at the film and what the results should have been, we would go ahead, and that's us.
Running a pro team is only fun when you win. There's no 50-50 in this game. Glanville is a workaholic who seldom sees his wife or son during the late summer. Rarely gets to be with them September through December.
My son and my wife, we get together every Friday for dinner, and that's it. And that's tough when you know that the best thing that's happened to you is your family. But in the off season, you get home earlier time, and in June, I never leave my son, and I think you try to make up for it in the off season.
When this business of coaching is finished, and Glanville already has had 24 years of it, I wondered how he'd like to be remembered, surely as a Super Bowl winner.
Guy that we were in a black hole, a dark hole that you couldn't get out of, and we began to believe in ourselves, and as a coach, we all crawl out of there. And I think that's the fun of coaching. I've been fortunate enough to have that happen to me in a couple of places. We've been at a couple of jobs where they said they never would win, and we were able to turn them around and win big and win more games than anybody else in the league, and that's the fun of being in this business.
If Jerry has a running battle with the media and he says it's only with one or two of us, it's a battle of wits most likely. He honestly delivers some decent one-liners, and his radio show on KPRC is upbeat and honest.
We know where we have to improve, and we know as a coaching staff that what we have to get done, and it really doesn't matter what anybody says. We will do our best to be the best we can.
The criticism will remain no matter how things go. Glanville knows that. He'll hear that he should let the offense alone and concentrate on his first and best love, the defense. He'll hear he should take more chances or not take so many. People may not even like anything he does. But after 24 years as a coach, I'd bet criticism is the least of his worries. When game day arrives, the fans can usually pick out their favorite players, and they know who the head coaches are. But they seldom know who those assistant coaches are. Those are the guys either on the sideline or up in a booth in the press box. And they each have their own area of expertise. The National Football League is a tight fraternity, and that certainly holds true for the league's coaching staffs. The Oilers have 3 new faces this season, which suggests the fraternity loses and gains members on a regular basis. All 3 have come from successful college programs. The running backs this season belong to Ray Sherman, ex of Georgia. He also worked at Purdue, where he once coached, among others, Ray Wallace. The defensive backs are under Nick Saban. He last coached at Michigan State, where he certainly saw a lot of top draft pick Lorenzo White. Of course, he won't work with Lorenzo this time around. He'll just have to root for him. The tight end and special teams coach is from the University of Arizona, one of the best collegians in this category in the nation. His name is Richard Smith. So the new coaches form the S connection. Sherman, Saban, Smith all seem intent on gaining the respect of the players. That's often tough to do when the players make 3 to 4 times what the coaches do.
My eye level's down, baby. My eye level's down. My footwork got to be quick. My left hand's got to punch like what you're talking about and knock his out. Hey, try it again, Jamie. Hey, I want more. There you go. I gotta tell you, every time you duck your head, you're going to lose.
Go. Come on, Steve. Twist it. Hey, get out, get it. Don't step behind now. Let's go.
The rest of the staff stays the same. Second-year coach Kim Helton is in charge of the offensive line. He is one of the real impact men on this staff.
I love it. I love it. Get him in the throat.
And his offensive line is certainly one of the best, but it certainly isn't taken for granted. I mean, how can you yell at a guy named Munchak, an all-pro who makes $400 grand?
I do feel more comfortable about being the same because I know how Mike Munchak's going to respond. I don't have to worry about whether he's going to take and pout every time I jump his case or not, because he doesn't. He just takes it with a grain of salt and usually gets ugly on somebody else, thank God to me.
He does a great job. He came in last year, and it's tough when your first year. He yelled, I think he yells both years. Camp, he's after you, and he has to be to keep you going. No matter how many years you've been in the league, he can't be. He's not taking it easy on myself or Bruce or Dean because we've been around. We got to come in and prove ourselves against Snowman. We're here to play and not to just live on what we did last year. I think that's a big plus for him.
Floyd Reese is an interesting fire-up kind of a guy handling the linebackers. And that group is interesting. Can you imagine a healthy John Grimsley? He played last year on just one good leg.
So I think going to the playoffs really did a lot for us. And the thing about it is that we're not satisfied with just going to the playoffs. I think we want to build on that. We want to continue and take it farther. I think Super Bowl is not out of our reach. We have the players and we have the talent here to do it. So I think it's out there.
Doug Shively is back for his third year heading up the defensive line. Doug is in his 14th season overall. And he must have raised an eyebrow when Sean Jones was traded to Houston. Jones, along with Richard Byrd and Ray Childress, could make Shively a much better coach. The receivers coach is Milt Jackson. He's back again. He just has to harness the talents of the likes of Gibbons, Hill, Duncan, Drury, etc. June Jones continues to work with the quarterbacks. He's considered to be very innovative in the offensive area, and his scheme should be sharper with yet another year under his belt, and number one agrees.
Exactly. We've added different packages for certain teams we're going to play, knowing exactly what they like to do against us, and that's how far along we are right now. We're in the past, we were always learning something new, but now we've got our system in, and it's just a matter of adding those little wrinkles for the different teams we're going to play so they can't scheme exactly what we're doing. And I think because we're so far along, we're going to be that much better this year.
At the risk of sounding optimistic, this team still knows how long and how hard it is to be a really good and successful football team. But you know what? After last season, at least they know what playoff money looks like.
Still to come, we'll find out what motivates the players to play and the ladies to watch.
That one place is Texas, where Ford Ranger and Ford Bronco 2 are two of Texas' best-selling trucks. And right now is a great time to buy and save on a new '88 Ford truck. Get quality and value like this in a 2- or 4-wheel drive Ranger or Bronco 2. That's why your Ford dealers are winning Texas over.
When only the best will do. Texas Ford and you. Texas Ford and you.
So, you're through with that phone system project, huh?
Yeah, I went with Plexar.
Yeah, I bet I get stuck with the job next time.
You probably won't be around next time.
Well, what do you mean?
Don't panic. With Plexar, there probably won't be you next time.
It's a service that does everything a PBX can do.
But it can't wear out or go out of date.
Well, great, as long as my job is secure.
Ooh, I don't know if I'd go that far.
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't?
It's not too good to be true. It's Plexar from Southwestern Bell Telephone.
Channel 2's Spencer Tillman is fighting for a spot on the Oiler roster this season. Before he pitched his tent in San Marcos, though, he got in one more story. Why do these guys do this? Can it only be for the money?
Deep-seated in all of us is a desire to become stars, if not in the athletic realm, perhaps in some other field of entertainment. But oftentimes, our dreams of stardom are based upon the more glorious aspects our idols publicly enjoy. But the price tag for athletic stardom sometimes carries with it an expensive price tag. So exactly why do they play the game?
Because I'm crazy, probably, you know. You have to be. Come out here and play, you know, football is hitting each other all the time, you know, playing football 6 days a week, 1 game a week. You know, you have to be pretty much insane.
Indeed, this game has presented its share of crazed professionals. But if forced to make a decision as to which side of the ball the craziest among them reside, the defense would win hands down.
You have to have very little respect for your body, I think. If you want to play defensive line, you have to go out and just and be open and not worry about injuries and just do everything that you can that you feel like that you can do to be the best.
Tempered with sound judgment, particularly with regard to financial matters, professional football can provide for a comfortable life long after the gridiron years are over. So that leaves us with another question to consider. Is money a motivating factor?
Yes, very much so. You know, everybody has a, you know, an end where they want to be. You know, so you know, and you know, it's nice leaving this game with a little bit of money in your pocket. You know, and move on to something else.
And for yet another, money is a factor. But as the years roll on, a higher objective takes precedence.
Money's in there. I think it starts, you know, back when I've been playing since I'm 8 years old. I've been playing 20 years now. I think the idea that this is where I wanted to get was to, you know, to get to the pro level. Once you get there, then your goals, you keep changing your goals now to get to that Super Bowl.
And finally, for a young Notre Dame graduate, he too enjoys the financial security that playing professional sports offers. But he realizes the disadvantages as well.
The more money you make, the more problems you have.
Alan's only been married a month now. Little does he know, the real challenge is yet to come. Spencer Tillman for Channel 2 Sports.
This season, the Oilers have just over 31,000 season ticket holders. 25% are women. More and more women are watching pro football, and Bart Ennis is back with that angle.
Men like football because it's what the male makeup is all about. Strength, competition, and even physical confrontation. It's rarely a thing of beauty. But these days, there are just as many female football fans. Why?
I like the game. I like the game. I think it's absolutely amazing that men of 300 pounds would slam themselves over this 8-ounce pigskin. I think it's great. Look at that.
Frankie Bermudez has been an Oiler fan since 1979.
I know about my Oilers. Those are my babies.
Frankie's optimistic. She thinks this is their year.
They're going to at least make playoffs, as long as the front line doesn't faint.
Women like Frankie are competitive too, no question about it. But other women are giving up their battle against the tube and are joining the ranks of football fanatics.
You have 4 brothers in your family, you kind of have to like it.
A lot of women don't take the time to, completely understand it. They think it's a little complicated with the downs and all that kind of stuff. But it's really, once you try to understand it and you do, it's a lot of fun.
I enjoy the sport too because I have 3 brothers that all played. And as a matter of fact, one of my brothers is the coach. So I know pretty much about it and I enjoy it. It's my favorite sport.
Oh, I see him now. I know.
Quite a few women at this year's Oiler camp were more interested in the gams than in the game.
Number 40's the cutest.
So his uniform, sure.
I wanted to get a picture of you.
Well, whatever the attraction, the players don't care. They're used to the attention. Bart Ennis, Channel 2 Sports.
Well, now that we've looked at the team, how about the competition? That's up next. Stay with us.
Combos, bite-sized food, real fast. New combos. The real food you love on the go at fast. New combos. Outside cracker, inside made with cheese, or pretzel on the outside, if you please. Or just as delicious, there's another kind. Cracker with real peanut butter inside. Bite-sized food, real fast. New combos, combos.
It's historic.
It's terrific.
To be specific, it's Star Furniture's 76th anniversary sale. Over $10 million of Star quality furniture in stock for immediate delivery and sale priced at the best prices in Texas, guaranteed.
Save 15 to 54% on the furniture you really want.
Plus, no monthly payments and no finance charges till next year.
Star Furniture's 76th anniversary sale.
Don't miss it.
Don't worry.
Can you afford not to shop at Star? Star Furniture, Star Furniture.
Summer beat, summer heat. Kroger makes your summer days summer sweet. Summer meals, summer wheels. Kroger's the one that's got the summer deals. Summer's a ball at Kroger.
Untrimmed wholesale cut whole beef brisket, 89 cents a pound. O. Henry peaches, California's finest, now 59 cents a pound. 40 cents off label. Tide detergent, 42-ounce box, net priced $1.49.
When it comes to picking winners in the NFL, the Central Division of the AFC seems to be one of the easiest to figure. Almost everyone likes the Cleveland Browns, and why not? Cleveland is tough, and they've proven that the last 2 years. Duke Fry surveys the teams in the Oilers' backyard, the AFC Central.
If the Oilers are to go far in the AFC this year, they know the path leads through Cleveland. The Browns will once again be the favorite for the AFC title. At the age of 24, Bernie Kosar has already guided the Browns to 3 straight AFC titles and 2 straight AFC championship games. The Browns still look strong. Offensively, their running attack is outstanding, with Pro Bowler Kevin Mack and Ernest Biner leading the charge. The receiving core is young and fast, with Webster Slaughter the long threat. But it's on defense where the Browns really excel.
This is what it's all about. You know, my hands are sweating right now. I'm looking forward to playing. And the bottom line is critics and skeptics is all a part of professional sports. And the only sad thing about it is when you quiet these kinds of people down, there's no means of revenge. It's because that's what's expected of you. So I just want to do what's expected of me.
Then there's Pittsburgh. Steeler coach Chuck Noll is still steamed over losing to the Oilers twice last season. Maybe that's why they traded Mark Malone away. Or maybe it's just because he wasn't much of a quarterback. Todd Blackledge and Bubby Brister will fight it out for the signal calling job, but neither figures to improve the Steelers greatly on offense.
I'm going to have to play this year and contribute to our team. I'm confident in my ability. I'm confident in the players around me. And we need a new attitude. We need somebody to lead us. We need a little uplifting. And I think I can do that for our team this year.
The Steelers will once again rely on their defense to carry them, but their margin for error will be slim. A come-from-behind team the Steelers just won't be. In Cincinnati, Coach Sam Wyche is in the hot seat. After a 4-11 season last year, he has to win or he's out. This team is loaded with talent, starting with Boomer Esiason and his rocket arm. The Bengals are still a team that can pile up the points offensively. The question is, can their defense stop anyone when they have to? They improved dramatically in '87, moving up from 20th to 8th in the rankings. But they have to continue the upward climb.
You talk to other players around the league, and they tell you that, you know, that we're always afraid playing you guys, or we think you have great personnel. And I think it's time for us to stand up and show that we have the personnel people think we have, and frankly, we think we have ourselves.
After losing 4 games by a field goal or less, part of the question is Wyche. His coaching strategy has left much to be desired. It's playoffs or bust in '88 for the Bengals. Duke Fry, Channel 2 Sports.
So it may be 100 degrees outside, but it is indeed football season. Thanks a lot for watching this special edition of Sports Sunday. We'll see you on Sunday as usual. Next up, though, the Oilers and the Bills from the Astrodome. Cue the assistant coach.
Again, 14 versus double sync. Squeeze, call it. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Watch me now.